Namaste. Good morning, dear teachers. I hope this beautiful, blessed morning sees us all happy, safe, and sound at our homes. And I am very sure that all of us have been spending this lockdown and extended vacation period in a very, very fruitful way. I assume that we all have been attending seminars and webinars to enrich ourselves, and few of us are also involved in imparting the online education. As teachers, this will be my concluding series of the present Educate the Educators topic. Shall meet you soon with other topics as well. Yes, before I start what I have to share with you, I have a small activity, if I may also, or a small reflection. Yes, all of us hold a coin, yes, and we are exchanging the coins with our partners. And as we do this, at the end of it, what happens? Each of us get back our coin. What we had a coin, and so we are getting back after we have exchanged. But if we have knowledge, all of us, as I mentioned, we all have gained so much of knowledge during these past 2.5 months or so, and also during the whole of our journey as teachers, and we all have beautiful ideas and knowledge. So my humble request is, please share your knowledge with your colleagues, your friends, through whichever medium it is. What happens is the knowledge doubles. Yes, then you yourself have some knowledge, and when you share, it will naturally be an information to the recipient, and he or she will also take away whatever is the best for him or her. So please, let us remember, learning is sharing and sharing is caring. Yes. With this note, I am here to share with you all this part of classroom management as a recap of the whole series, and I shall give it to you in the form of an acronym once again, because I am very fond of making these acronyms, is simply because we remember it well. As students, actually I remember our teachers telling us to remember all the answers in the form of these acronyms. That is how I learned this, and as I grew up, yes, this technique has still remained with me, and I do apply it in whichever area it is easier and it is necessary. Yes, so coming to the topic of today, to conclude the session, it's pray. Let us all pray, and let us also teach our students to pray. The word P-R-A-Y. Okay, so to start with, letter P for prayer. Yes, teachers, I hope all of us do believe in the supreme power above us, who is the 24/7 witness to what we think, what we speak, and what we do. And so we all start our day with a loving prayer to the Almighty. Let us also inculcate this habit in our students, because prayer is, I believe, is a telephoning to God. In this techno-driven world, we are connected with various technological gadgets, but this powerful entity called God, doesn't need any such gadgets. He just needs a simple, loving heart and a sincere prayer. And then, next, what to pray? It is not necessary that we always have to ask or seek something from God. Let us also teach our students to thank God, to show gratitude to the Almighty for blessing us each day, for blessing us things in abundance, the water, the food, the clothes, the homes where we stay, and all the other resources which is given to us in abundance is all God's gift. And as we inculcate this habit of prayer, it gives an inner strength. Believe me, teachers, prayer just doesn't mean that you have to sit with eyes closed and chant some mantras or shlokas. It is just to be very, very clear at heart and very, very sincere in your thoughts speech and deeds. If we are able to connect all these, the thought, word and deed, and be of help to anyone whom we know or we do not know, itself accounts to prayer. Don't you think then the Lord God will be very happy if we are able to do this kind of a service to the mankind, whether we know them or do not know? I hope we have been hearing and reading lots of stories revolving this area of how people are benefited by extending help to the needy, to the known or the unknown, and this help has to of course go in a very, very loving and caring way and in a very selfless way. So right from formative ages, if we can teach our children this habit of prayer, and prayer is just not seeking or asking from God, prayer is also thanking God for whatever He has been giving, then the students will learn to accept things in life in that spirit, and he knows that there is somebody supreme who will surely take care of us. Yes. Moving on to the next letter, R. Resourceful. Teachers, during this past 2.5 months, have been doing a lot of maybe inward journey, if I can call so, and come to understand that human beings are that beautiful resource. Yes, we are the ones who have the potential to tap the other resources available to us. Yes, even the technology what we all are using is of course the brainchild of some scientist, some computer engineer, yes, who has made these online webinars, seminars, or the Google Meet, the Zoom calls, etc. available, so that people across the country, people across the globe are connected and using the technology in the most efficient way. So here you see, human beings are that resourceful person, and we are here as teachers to ignite those minds, among the students. You just need to give them an opportunity to tap their potential. Keep telling them you are the best, you have the potential you have a talent in you. Find out, give them, as we saw in the previous sessions, use this A to Z technique and find out where the child's strength lies. Tap it, enable him to come out with that talent and guide him to be the best resource. Because if human resource is not available, we all know our lifestyles, our livelihoods would not be the way what we are experiencing and living these days. Yes, and also we should teach them and train them to be using their knowledge and intelligence for the welfare of the society, for the welfare of mankind. Just because we have that intelligence, we cannot use it in a wrong way, or we cannot use it in a way that can harm anybody for that matter. Yes, the other way, if you see the various ways and means in which we are degrading the environment or the nature for whatever reasons, I mean, that is again a debating issue. So what I am trying to say is, we need to inculcate this value in the students, that they have to use things in a very, very efficient way, and they have to use their knowledge in a very, very useful way, so that they become an asset to the society. They are the best. That is why we have nowadays a department itself called human resource, the HR department. In all the corporate world, we have a department called HR we call. So human resource is that which is the backbone of any civilization, of any society, for any progress for that matter. Yes, even this lockdown period, there are hundreds of people sitting behind us, whom we haven't even seen, known, but they are working in so much of tandem to see and to put back the whole scenario back into the working condition. So, intelligence to be used in a very, very efficient way for the welfare of the society. This we have to inculcate in the students. The next letter, A. All-rounder. Let us make our students an all-rounder. Nowadays, we all know the competition is so heavy in the society when they move on with their higher education or into the job profiles. Yes, so of course they have to be mastering in one particular field, but yes, we also can decorate that field with all these kinds of intelligence and talents in them. Like suppose somebody is wanting to become a dancer, that being a focus, yes, we can also inculcate in the child the need and the requirement that she has to educate and become a minimal graduate, yeah, to learn computers, to learn personality development. Yes, so all the parameters have to be taken care of, unless she will end up to become a good or a very nice dancer. For that matter, any field. Let the child just not be a bookworm and then very studious and very focused to that particular field. He should have a platter of avenues and learn all the trades, all the techniques. But yes, surely he will become or she will have to become the chosen profession. But let us give them a chance at least till the junior college level or the college studies where they are, an avenue to showcase their talents, because we all remember our childhood days, what we did. We have sang, we have danced, we have taken part in sports, we have done electrocution competition, we have taken part in quiz, isn't it? So all these areas have to be shown to the students and given them a chance to prove their intelligence. Let us not stop them, but let us give all these avenues and let them grow with it. Next letter, Y, you, me, time. Very important. Yes, as I mentioned to you, as for effective classroom management, we as teachers have to provide this you, me time to understand about our students. But here I am going to give you or tell you that each individual as we are have to have a time for ourselves. You, that is you time, or we say me time here. So what is this? The time for us to take care of our own health. Very important, teachers. If we are strong, as we all know, we are playing double role. Of course, all the professionals are indeed playing a double role, but here all of us therefore have to take care of our health first, the physical, the mental and the emotional health, and maybe involve ourselves in regular exercise or say meditation or yoga or any kind of therapy through which you can keep your body under good condition. Yeah, eat healthy, take proper rest, have socializing, yes, and not necessarily that socializing has to always be on phone. We can go meet our friends, old friends especially, senior people, talk to them, spend time with them, and keep rejuvenating yourselves, yes, which is very important. And inculcate the same principle among the students as well. We know, we see most of the time students come to school in a not very disciplined or can I say clean way. Teach them how to wash clothes, how to maintain their bags, how to keep their books neat and tidy, how they can help their mothers in the kitchen, how they can sew their own shirt buttons if need be. Yeah, so they should have this kind of a self-dependency. The other day I learned that we as individuals are all independent, but it says, the word independent itself says independent. You are dependent on you, inside you or upon you. So though we say we all are independent, yes, we are dependent on ourselves first, and then we are dependent on the immediate family and the society and the friends at a larger spectrum. So let us see that we are maintaining a good healthy lifestyle and also train our students to have this kind of a healthy lifestyle for themselves, because as we see, cleanliness is godliness, we learned, and we also know health is wealth, because it is again said, if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. But if health is lost, everything is lost. And here, as we have chosen this profession as teachers, we have greater responsibility, and we can't just misuse, or I can say we can't neglect our health. Yes, God forbid something untoward happens, then again we have to face it and come out of it. But given a situation, let us just maintain good health, physical, mental and emotional, and be ourselves, keep ourselves abreast with the happenings in the world, and be good facilitators to our dear students. Yes, teachers, with this I request you all to just close down your eyes. I shall just take you all on a small activity. I think this will just help you all to recollect what all we have learned in the past few sessions, and then I'll see you soon. May I request you all to close your eyes. And yes, sometime back, as we started this Educate the Educator series, I introduced you all to a topic on how, as a classroom in charge, our focus becomes very pertinent to see that our classrooms are neat, we are prepared, the students are under discipline, we manage our time well and give our best to the students, and we are able to see that each individual student is like an apple orchard, where we said we have to think beyond, and then we saw the A to Z of classroom management and went on to see how to manage the students with special needs, how we have to develop a rapport with the parents, gain their confidence and tell the child, we are with you, we will help you out. Thereon we went on to see the 3M, the role of a mother, the need of meditation and mindfulness. Then we went on to see how art and craft, drama and dance are also an essential or integral part of classroom management. Then we went on to see how each child has to be given positively, confidence has to be grown in the child, because each child has a potential to do his or her best. And then we understand that each child is very unique and special, and we have to tap their potential to see the best out of them. So to conclude, I will say that we are all like the potters and the students are the wet clay given to us. So how a potter shapes the clay in front of him into different shapes, colors them so artistically and prepares wonderful vases or pots, if I may call. Here let us also shape each child as an individual entity, color his life with all the talents he has, and see that we leave goodness among the students. We give them the values of being a sensitive and a disciplined, sincere and hard-working student. Then I think our role as a facilitator or educator is done to the utmost satisfaction. With this, I conclude the first session of the series on Educate the Educators. Very soon I shall see you all with my next topic. Until then, take care, stay home, stay safe, and once we are back, let us incorporate these or some of these or most of these in our teaching, in our effective classroom management, and make a learning a joyful experience. Thank you. Have a good day.